Hi, I'm Laura Jones.
And I'm Skip Trask.
And here's what's coming up on today's Wild Ohio.
Wild animals that cannot be released back into the wild find new purpose as educational subjects. Plus, we visit the Cleveland Museum of Natural History and find out how keeping history alive affects the future. Plus, the Wild Game Gourmet consults a French chef. That and more on today's Wild Ohio.
Jonestown, Ohio native Mano Van Schoik is passionate about education, especially when it comes to educating young people about Ohio's wildlife. We spent some time with Mano at her facility, Ohio Nature Education, and on the road, where she shared her wildlife message with some eager Central Ohio elementary school students.
I became interested in wildlife as a volunteer.
All right, come on in.
As a young adult, I started bird watching and getting involved with metro parks, and then got involved with a wildlife rehabilitation center. And within 1 year of volunteering, I was running a clinic.
A wild animal rehabilitator's #1 goal is to release their patients back into the wild. But when the severity of the injury prevents that, the animals often become ambassadors for their wild kingdom. And it's people like Mano Van Schoik, wildlife educator, who become their voice.
From rehab, I went to sit in on a board with the Columbus Audubon Society and started becoming their education director.
All right, guys, it's time. It's showtime. We're going out today.
As Mano got more involved, she came to a crossroads. Both rehabilitation and education take concentrated time. She found she needed to make a choice.
And then I kind of looked at both aspects of rehab and environmental ed and decided I really couldn't do both well, and decided to choose environmental education. So I decided, well, I've worked for some nonprofits, why not start one? And that's basically how we started 12 years ago.
Nearly every day, Mano brings the wild inside to classrooms across Ohio.
She is a red-faced eastern screech owl.
They are the stars of the show. I started out with 2 birds, an injured red-tailed hawk and an injured great horned owl, and since then it's grown to 42 animals.
In Ohio.
A classroom full of attentive 4th graders. This is the educational power of wild animals.
The key is educating people.
These kids are going to be the adults down the road, and they're going to be the leaders of the community, and I think to instill that in them early, you know, the conservation aspect and caring for the endangered species and caring for the animals in general, I think that's extremely important.
So does Mano Van Schoik, which is why nearly every day she and her husband load up the car with their assorted wild cast of characters to travel to yet another wildlife presentation.
We started out, I think, our first year conducting 125 programs, and last year it was 356.
It's the rare individual who makes it their sole mission in life to speak for the wild creatures. Mano Van Schoik is just that person.